Welcome to the Put Me On Game podcast. I'm your host, Chesterr, and with me today, I got some very special people.
I'm Antonio Forte.
How you doing? I'm Elijah Cox.
I am Austin Kinlaw.
And I'm Kyle Johnson.
We're with Follow the Spectrum. But we're doing well. I'm doing well. Had some good food before we came here. A good, beautiful Sunday. Just good vibes. Good vibes all together.
That's welcome to Club 128, man. So tell me, Follow the Spectrum. Who wants to give me the background on this? Because I already know I love the movement, but who want to go?
We're going to let Kyle go ahead and take that away.
Okay, I need business.
So, Follow the Spectrum was inspired by my life story with autism. Mm-hmm. I was diagnosed with it at the age of 3, and I had a lot of mountains and valleys with the journey. A bunch of naysayers saying, oh, he can't do this, or no, he can't do that. Well, I proved the naysayers wrong through the help of my mom, and I graduated from Pine Forest High with a 3.4 GPA, was involved with music organizations like the...
Triple my GPA.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Triple my GPA. Keep going. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was in the marching band program at Pine Forest, and that's how I got to meet like Grant Bennett and people like that, and just and after that I graduated from Methodist University with a Bachelor of Science in Management with a minor in music, and after that just used all the skills I needed from my time in Pine Forest to Methodist to help form the nonprofit. In fact, even my mom is also another inspirational factor for this. Through my time with my journey with autism, I helped her discover her career path, and that was to be a school teacher.
Wow.
She was working with me throughout my whole therapy sessions, anything that I did, and just that's what helped me want to put this nonprofit on, is because I want others to find out what their meaning or what their calling is in life.
And that's why we're here. Follow the spectrum, find yourself. That's the tagline, and that's what we want everybody to do. Disability or no disability, you're going to come and find yourself. Find something new about yourself, a different aspect, a different level of appreciation that you didn't have before.
And I'll just jump in to tell you about what Follow the Spectrum is doing currently. So we're on this podcast today to tell you guys about an event that's happening on April 20th. We're going to have a autism awareness event. Kyle just spoke on the inspiration behind the nonprofit, and he came to us as the Carolina Tree Club to help him produce this event. And you can find us at Dick's Sporting Goods, April 20th, 11 a.m.
Hey.
When this idea came into inception, was that the right word?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. You know, I'm reading a little bit now. You know what I mean? So when this idea came, right, it was by yourself, or was it like conversation? Like where did the initial idea come from?
The initial idea came from actually a retired teacher assistant from Cumberland County Schools. Saw me at a grocery store one day, and she said, you know, I've known you for quite some time, and the autistic community, it's getting to the point where it's not talked about as much. And that really stuck with me, because we need to talk about communities like the community that I'm involved in. And that stuck with me. And I remembered watching the Put Me On Game podcast with the Carolina Tree Club. And I remember my boy Elijah over here talking about wanting to do CTC sponsored or annual events. And I'm thinking, okay, with what she said, what he said, it's like I was putting together a puzzle that could help the community out. Mm-hmm. Pardon the pun, yeah, autism symbol is the puzzle piece. So, and then I remembered there being a school here in Fayetteville called the School of Hope, which is actually the beneficiary for our event. And they want to expand their campus to where they're going to house more autistic individuals, because they're getting constant inflow of applications for new students. And right now they have to put them on hold because the campus is not fully ready yet. So that's how they became the beneficiary. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do something for this school and for the community. So that's how I typed out an idea on my phone. I started sharing the idea to Isaiah, and who is the other Carolina Tree Club member.
Shout out to the gang.
And he told me to trickle the idea down to Elijah, and I hit Elijah like late one night over the phone.
Very late.
and I told him about my idea, and I'm gonna let him tell y'all, what he said.
So Kyle contacted me as the community engagement director of Carolina Tree Club, and he shared with me the notes that he had and the idea he had. Thought it was a beautiful idea, and to his point, it stuck with what we want to do. We want to change lives. We want to impact the community, but we also want something new to the city that everybody can feel and experience for years to come. This will be an annual event. This is the inaugural. April 20th is the inaugural session of the event. So he comes to me. We're talking on the phone. I'm like, this is a crazy, great idea. Like, you have a lot of things already planned out. You have a lot of things that you want to do. Some things we can't. Now let me just help you mold this and make this a reality. This was September, maybe?
August of last year.
I was about to say, it was about around that time that we were starting up with everything. And I'm sorry to jump in, because I could play a little part in this, you know what I mean? And then I remember you hit me, you was like, yeah, bro, how do you feel about doing da-da-da-da? And I was like, it wasn't much information, but it was enough. I was like, okay, like I'm not opposed to it.
Yes, sir.
And then the next time I saw you, yeah, we got this. I'm like, bro, I just saw you like about 2 weeks ago, bro. What y'all doing?
Come on, so perfect. So boom, so call it August. So here we are 6 months later since that initial conversation and incubation of what is now called the Spectrum. We now have retail vendors that's going to be at the event. We also have resource vendors. So obviously you can come out there and shop, just get trinkets and jewelry from Insured Evolution if you would like to. You can get handmade soaps and hand soaps. You can also go to the resource side. We have Barbosa Learning Center, who does tutoring and just extra help for kids with disabilities. We also have the Little Compass Company coming out as well as a resource just to get more information for parents, kids, trust me, for students and kids. We have activity and play areas. They don't want to come and sit here and listen to different resource vendors talk about different things they need, but parents would definitely want that and get more information about what's here for them. A lot of parents, I'm in the school system. I work in the EC department at Grace Creek Middle School, so a lot of parents don't know all the resources here for them. I know it may be a struggle sometimes, like they need help. I know it's something and I just can't provide it. That's where we come in with the multiple resource vendors we have, just to get them the help that they need and they so desperately want, that's going to benefit them and their family and their children for years to come. As well as the retail and resource vendors and the gaming area we have a stage, a flat stage, just so nobody's confused, that's going to have live performances so people can just hear music, hear barbershop quartet, hear some high school marching bands, just different things for different people. Lastly, there will be food. Everybody loves to eat. There will be a food truck section, just to get your grub on. This will all be encompassed in the parking lot directly in front of Dick's House of Sports, in Freedom Town Center. But yeah, so like we said, we built out for 6-7 months. We still got another 55-day push until the event, and we're still just tying all loose ends to have a beautiful event that everybody can enjoy. Inclusivity.
First, let me give CTC our flowers, because a lot of people with perception may look at y'all or the page and be like, oh man, they ain't really on nothing or whatever like that. You know how social media is and people in general.
Sure.
But y'all been doing y'all thing, like even from way back. Like, yeah, like I told you, hey, pull up.
Pull up, like, for sure.
Knowing y'all 30 minutes, yeah, just pull up to the crib. Ain't nothing, because I see the genuine in it. But for y'all to turn this idea into, I want to dang near call it a festival, because honestly,
it's not inaugural year, but that's to come. It's gonna be a festival for sure.
Like, this is like, a lot of people can't do this in their first year of anything. Like, this, if people gonna look at this and be like, dang, I wish I was there.
And with that, to your point, it's beautiful, right? The love we have in the city. All of us in this room are from Fayetteville, born and raised. CTC, like going back to the podcast last year, we're a big group, right? So with that, we have a lot of connection, a lot of network, and it's just leaning on a lot of those connections to make this happen. And it's beautiful, for real. We agree with you. This became bigger than we can ever imagine. So, like, we're thankful. We taking it with a grain of salt, but we moving. We rolling.
Kyle, I want to ask you, because me personally, like, you was giving me my flowers earlier, and I always appreciate that because I always see this as just something little. The courage you've had to blueprint this out and to reach out and being a part of how big this has become, where does that come from?
Honestly, God.
Great answer. Great answer. I can't.
You won't ready for that one?
I don't even know. I can't even follow nothing up with that. I can't even follow nothing up with that. Yeah. Wow.
But outside of God, I mean, you don't understand, Chesterr, how good of a group I have in my corner. I need to even shout out to the man who came up with the logo for the event, the brochures, the website, the marketing. Shout out to the president of Follow the Spectrum, Cress Thomas of Faded A News.
So that is the to give context, that is the partnership that is really hosting and put all this whole event together. It's Kyle Johnson, Cress Thomas, and then the conglomerate of the Carolina Tree Club.
Where does this go from here? And I know that's
a great question.
You start off with 40 points in your first game. Like, I mean, you know, it's always hard to follow up the next year and go bigger and go bigger. It always doesn't have to be bigger as long as the intent is there. It could be a group of 10 people. If that impact is as big as, you know, a festival, like I just said. But where do we go from here? Like, where is there more workshops or for lack of better words, like more things that's planned in the cut that I don't know about?
So it's funny you mentioned that because my homeboy Ace over here, we were just chatting up over the phone one night, and I said, you know what, I want to do things with this nonprofit to where autistic individuals can get help, because I feel like in today's society, and this is just me spilling a pitch here, I feel like job applications are now used as sort of a targeting tactic more so than helping people find jobs. Like, I feel like it's being used as more like, oh, because you're autistic, we can't allow you to work with this kind of company or with this kind of position. So I was speaking to Austin about that, and he said, I said, I want to come up with like a program that is attached to this nonprofit to where I can help autistic scholars who are on the spectrum find employment right out of the gate. Without even having to go through the interviewing process or the application process or anything. In fact, that Austin, you want to tell them about like what we're thinking of?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, I am Austin Kinlaw, entrepreneur and scholar, studying here in my hometown at the illustrious Fayetteville State University. I'm an associate of Carolina Tree Club, and I've known Kyle since 8th grade homeroom. Yeah. So, you know, when he originally approached me with an entrepreneurship mindset, I looked at problem solution narrative, right? We're looking at people who are, you know, typically put under the radar, you know, like Kyle. He has a business management degree. For him not to be employed somewhere in a management level position is, I mean, it's robbery is what it is, you know? And so looking at the program that we kind of looked at, you know, putting out there for Follow the Spectrum, it would just be exposure, experience, and hands-on learning for, you know, not just autistic scholars, but people who want to work in the space with people with disabilities, right? And that's what Follow the Spectrum, Find Yourself means, right? It's bridging that gap and creating that fuller sense of community. So, you know, this is Kyle's brainchild, and you know, when he originally pitched it to me, we put it through a little bit more of a polishing stage, and we're continuing to work on that. So I definitely think that timeline wise, that will be something we can implement after the event. Even just going to schools, getting more connected, providing more awareness, and then ultimately just continuing to bridge that gap. So,
y'all mind if I jump in here?
Go ahead.
You asked like anything we're doing on the side. Kyle's also going to reach to some children, and I think it's next week, right? March 1st.
On March 1st, I got invited to the beneficiary, the School of Hope again. It's School of Hope is located at 111 Burn Street. If you want to check it out, I'm part of the Reading Across America opportunity at the School of Hope, where I get to go and read a book to like different levels of classes. In fact, to mention some other guests are going to be there. Diane Wheatley from the House of Representative is going to be there as well.
And then on top of that, Kyle and I, and also Elijah, last week we were at the Play for K beneficiary basketball game at Methodist University, speaking to attendees. Kyle's also been in attendance to the Rotary Club here in Fayetteville. So there's a lot of things that are going on the side outside of just this nonprofit. And really, this wasn't even supposed to be a nonprofit from the start. You know, it started out as just an event, and it just, after talking, you know, Kyle, Elijah, myself, and Chris, we were talking about all the things we wanted to do, and we were like, I don't know if we can do all this without having an actual structure around it. We were like, this is way more than an event, so that's how we became a nonprofit, and then it turned into, okay, we want this to be an inaugural event. And as far as like making the event even bigger, we've been in contact with plenty of parties that want to be involved. It's just we're not necessarily ready because it's our first year to make it as big as we could. So that's why, you know, we're asking for donations and we're selling shirts and doing all these things to raise more money so that in the coming years we're gonna be able to have all the resources we could possibly have for everybody that's in attendance.
No, yeah, just and to add to that even more, I know it's a lot. Chesterr, we're honored to be here, right? So you're getting a lot of exclusive information that's breaking news right here on set.
That's why I'm so quiet. They like, bro, why is he quiet? I'm processing everything. Like
the beneficiary was so moved. Yeah, I'm spiraling back to the beneficiary. The beneficiary was so moved by us choosing them that they have a VIP package whipped up for like me and my board. So outside of me doing Reading Across America on April the 20th, which is the day of the event, the principal had something really special lined up for me that I was not even anticipating happening. She actually has a limo lined up for me free of charge to arrive to Dick's in a limo.
Rolling out the red carpet, literally, like pulling up on the red carpet in the limo.
And on May the 4th, yeah, Star Wars Day for you Star Wars geeks out there. We're invited to a spring event that the School of Hope puts on, and we're going to be offered to give out the Special Olympic Award. And on March the 30th, there's going to be a bike run at Harley-Davidson, Fort Bragg Harley-Davidson, on Sycamore Grove Road. It's gonna start at like 9:30, 10ish in the morning. And I was chosen to be the honorary guest rider for that event.
you lit out here.
I was a local celebrity almost.
You lit out here. I can't even. Hey,
listen. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you something, Chesterr. During literally, I was kind of a celebrity at Palm Forest. Literally, you could go to any Palm Forest alumnus and say, do you remember that guy Kyle Johnson? And they'd be like, oh yeah, I remember him from way back in the day.
Kyle's definitely somebody you don't forget. Kyle is very special in that sense. Like, you meet him once and you will never forget him.
Man, I'm proud of y'all.
Thank you.
I'm proud. I'm honored that y'all chose the Put Me On Game podcast to come on. I mean, come up here and pop y'all stuff. Context clues. Is there anything that I'm missing that I need to know from anyone's lives that y'all want to put out about the event? I think they're going to have to watch it twice to really catch everything. Especially the dates that y'all chose to do all this on. I don't know if they, if you know, but.
Y'all know. We know. But just show up and enjoy yourself.
Exactly. Please.
Yeah, it took me a minute to figure out why were people laughing about 420 for some reason, and then Elijah pulled me off to the side and said, "It's I'm not gonna want to say it for content reasons, but I know now."
Yeah, That's what you said. The Star Wars date. April 20th. I'm like, y'all really choosing?
Those days that people remember.
Exactly.
I will say a lot of the things we've done has been, very strategic, right? But with that, like mindfulness, we've got Follow the Spectrum, we've got Carolina Tree Club here. We're on Put Me On Game platform. I want to ask, what else do you see for Fayetteville? What else can be done in that kind of sense? If we can kind of pick your brain. I know it's kind of a reversal to ask you the question, but
Oh no, I love that. As far as just in general, or as far as just community.
I want to think that they're parallel or connected in a sense. Have you heard about the urban design plan for downtown?
I've heard about them shutting, I think, the theater or the Coliseum down and using the parking lot of the courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for that because as somebody that's lived literally on every side of Fayetteville, downtown has just never been a focal point. So now that they're building it up, now that they're stretching it out, now that, it's going to be more of a, we could come down here and I could walk around and feel safe. Safer, I'll say.
Safer. Safer.
You got your crew, you got the baseball stadium, you're going to have that. Now, I don't know how long it's going to take for them to keep expanding because you do need to go down that street. It needs to be more kid-friendly things because as somebody that's grown up in this city and the only thing I had was the skating rink. Like, granted, they got all the, the parks and all that now, but now you go into the teenagers. What do teenagers do?
Yeah.
Outside of the football games and all that, they want to have fun.
Yeah.
Ain't nowhere to have fun. You can't go hoop nowhere. You can't have no type of nightlife,
Right.
So what you gonna do? Go, do dumb things to supplement that. So I think just more interactive things, more community things, more reaching out because we have enough high naming people. I don't want to say celebrity, especially that can use what's the best way to say it? Spread their likeness back home that people would enjoy.
100%. Like now that they've reached a newer audience, they can kind of corral some of that exposure. And I mean, Fayetteville does offer a good host of things, but if you were going to bring one maybe business or one type of platform to Fayetteville, whether it be downtown or on the Merc, you know what I'm saying? What would you bring specifically?
Get a 2-6 project, a warehouse, and we'll handle the rest.
Did we just hear something crazy right here? What's going on?
I've talked to nobody about that. Give us a warehouse, we'll figure out the rest.
Okay. I definitely think that would be interesting. Man, okay, so what about the Murchison Choice Plan? Are you familiar with that as well?
No, tell me about it.
So they're applying for a funding for a grant, and basically they would redo a set of like 60 townhomes right there off of the Merc, right? And the idea is to
By Fayetteville State or
it would be closer to like Country Club. So you imagine you're coming right there, and there's the gas station on the right. You take like the next right. No, not the guy across the street where they got the what's the other gas station?
that Are you talking about behind West Area? Or are you talking about across the street from West Area, like Whispering Ponds or something like that? Where that steel thing is at?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, like you're headed south on the Merc, and then it's like there's a gas station on your right, and then the street after that, basically there's 60 townhome units down there that they want to turn into mixed income living. And my idea is like, okay, they want to move some rich people in here and kind of gentrify it. Well, we can't let that necessarily be the case. The idea is that, hey, we move in a couple people who have great jobs, have great connections, and these new networks. Well, now your next door neighbor who's making $30K, hey, you introduce them to the idea of maybe getting a job in cybersecurity or finance. Go back to school and get a nursing degree, get something more stable, any type of education. Now, this term I like to use, they're positively eutrophicating the environment. And when I say eutrophication, that's a biological term, right? Where runoff comes into an environment, like a lake, and then it starts boosting up the plant life and the animal life around it, right? And that's what Carolina Tree Club aims to do, is to take what our mentors, what people ahead of us had shown us and pour it into us, and now positively eutrophiate the environment, like help other people, So that's something that Kyle's helped us, and that's something I think you've helped us with as well.
So to dumb that down, because I had to process that, basically giving exposure to communities that wouldn't have it before.
Absolutely, man. You know, there's so many incubators. You've got the 2-6 Project, the Roots Mentoring, the Tulsa Initiative, all of these different groups that are bringing people up. You know what I mean? And we just got to continue to work. That's all it takes.
We got to have a deeper conversation about that.
Yeah, that's all I'm feeling.
I feel like it's definitely possible, but you know, it's politics and everything. I'm not even talking about politics as far as not with none of like, you know, us working with each other. I'm talking about like the higher ups.
Absolutely,
like,
absolutely.
You know.
We could. That's definitely maybe a segue. Right.
Thank you guys for coming in. Great conversation. Definitely can't wait for April 20th. And until then, thank you for watching the Put Me On Game podcast. We out.